you are Muslim. You practice the
Yes.
Muslim faith,
Hmm.
and and in that there are certain things you follow as part of that faith, and one of them is your attire. What does racing Muslim and what does racing covered mean?
So, in my everyday life, I wear hijab.
Mhm.
I cover everything except my face, hands, and feet. And about 2 years into it, I actually won a race. The third place lady, I said, "Oh well, where's I forgot the young lady's name.
Mhm.
She's not coming." I said, "Okay," and I just went. And then it's one of my sorors came up to me and said she didn't want to get on the stand with you because you didn't win.
Hey, everybody. This is Kenny E. back with Black Iron Tri and Fearless Conversations. And we have what, in my opinion, is triathlon royalty in the house today.
Oh my god.
This it is what it is. Y'all make your own decisions after you hear this sister talk. But she's someone I look up to in the triathlon world. And there's stuff I want to ask her that we're going to cover in this meeting. But this is Miss Khadijah Diggs. Miss Khadijah, also known as Kelly. Kelly, you might, if you want to track her during races, look up Kelly Diggs,
Yes.
and trust me, you will have a chance because this girl races. All right. So, how you doing, Khadijah? Thanks for joining us today.
I'm doing awesome, and thank you for having me. I've
No,
been
you are
enjoying your channel.
you're the star today, for sure. Thank you so much. Miss Khadijah is I know you can't tell by looking at her. I'm sorry, but she and I are the same age. She's 57 years old. If I tell any lies, you correct me, right? She's 57-year-old mom of seven biological
Yes.
children.
Yep,
Uh,
one set of twins.
and once okay, ranging from ages 33. So I've already said moms who do this sport are like amazing, right? Mom of seven. And you
Yes.
have everything from very adult children, 33, to teenagers, to
Yes.
15, right? And
The
you
twins are
mentioned they were
15.
biological. So does that indicate you have some other like adopted children or
Yeah, I had the joy of helping to raise 3 other children, and I hate calling them adopted.
I that
I
was
used
my
to call
word.
them.
That was my word. I apologize. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I call them children that were gifted to me. So at one point we had 8 kids in the house
That
simultaneously.
is
So
that is
it's
insane.
a little crazy.
And so let's get into that. All right. So continuing with your bio here, you're a project and program manager for an energy company, a multi-state energy company,
Mhm.
in the southeast part of the country. You were born in New Jersey,
Yes.
raised in New York. You
Yes.
currently live in Metro Atlanta, which we need to talk about offline because I don't understand how you live in Metro Atlanta and we don't hang out more. I know you travel a lot,
Yes.
I'm in Atlanta proper. I live right outside of Midtown.
Okay.
And yeah, I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you over. My wife and sister are both big fans of yours, as you probably already know. That's fantastic. It'd be great to have you over. But you mentioned that your heart is in Kohimar, Cuba, and
Yes.
I want to dig into that after I finish giving your bio here. But so when we talk, folks, about street cred in terms of triathlon, there aren't a lot of people that are going to beat Miss Khadijah. Miss Khadijah did her first 70.3 in 2014.
Mhm.
Since then, including that one, she has done, maybe since we've talked, she has done, she has completed 45 70.3s. She's towed the line for 46, but she's completed 45 of them and is 12 for 12 in full Ironman. So this girl has cred. She could teach us all a lot about triathlon. So she's done 45 70.3s, 12 fulls. Who knows how many other things we can get into that later. But I think you did your first Ironman, your first full Ironman in 2015, and that was in Louisville.
Yes.
So I actually attended a Louisville in 2019 with a friend of mine that I raced with. I love that race. I haven't raced it. I think it needs to be on my list though. But
Well, they
uh,
only do the 70.3 now. They don't do the full any longer.
oh, and you did a
Yeah.
full. You did a full. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Well, as quiet as it's kept, Khadijah, I have promised my wife I would stick to 70.3s but I might ask her for a buy for my 60th birthday. But we'll see. All right, maybe you can help me out on that point because she really respects you. But yeah, so we'll see. But that's fine. I can do the 70.3 in Louisville. I just like that town. I like it like I like
Yeah.
Chattanooga and all those other places. But so again, thank you for joining us today. Um, so before we get into some of the questions I really want to ask, uh, Kohimar, Cuba. Why is that? Why is your heart in Kohimar, Cuba? And am I saying it correctly? I'm trying to
Yeah,
pretend like
Kohimar.
I know how to speak
Yeah,
Spanish,
yeah,
but
yeah, Kohimar.
go ahead.
It's kind of a suburb if Cuba has suburbs
Sure.
outside of Havana.
Of Havana.
It's
Okay.
east of Havana. It's kind of a tag team between there's a young lady, Julene Josiah Tanner. She's a runner. She's like a sister to me.
Okay.
And my best friend lives in Villa, which is near Kohimar, and that's where we go swimming and fishing, and
Oh wow.
it's yeah, Cuba is my favorite place in the whole world,
So
and
do
I
you
go
go to
there
Cuba now? Is that
twice
is
a
it?
year, every year. Yeah, I actually got back in February. I spent
And
weeks there.
okay. You don't have trouble getting there? I guess I was under the
I
impression
have
it's
more
hard.
trouble getting back than I do getting it.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I get randomly checked
We know about that
frequently.
random check.
But yeah, I go
Random. You're gonna make me put up a finger. No, I've seen you at races. I've tried to wear. So I'm wearing a hat. I try
yes,
to wear gear that matches my interviewees where I've raced with them before. You and I did a floor together. I think that's where you
yes,
met my wife back in
yes, and I
22.
was so grateful for her. I
I
really
I
was.
know, I know. I gotta stay out of y'all's way because she is she doesn't know I'm interviewing you yet. She's gonna freak out. But she's gonna freak out when she hears. And then I also wore my chat because I ran into you down in Chattanooga last year in
Yep, and
25.
I should see you in a couple of weeks.
And you will are you going back to chat?
I do chat every year. I think it's
Ah,
been contested, what, 11 times, and I've done it 8.
what do you
Yeah.
mean? Okay, okay. So you done the 8 out of 11. Okay. I
I
did not
believe
know that.
so.
Okay, yeah, you will
Yeah,
see me there. You will see me
yeah.
there. I'll be
It's
there.
like a hometown race. That's why I do it, and some years I have, like, horrible races. I've had a couple of really good races there,
Uh-huh.
so
Uh-huh.
it just depends.
It's a tough race. I think
Yeah.
people underestimate. I mean, Chattanooga is a great town to race in, as you know. They
Yeah.
are very welcoming to the Ironman community. And I did my first full there. I did my second full there.
Yeah.
And I love it. And just the way they welcome you. And then
Yeah.
so you were racing there when it was still sponsored by Little Debbie then, right?
Yeah, and the
Yes.
crazy thing is, as unprepared as I always go into Chattanooga,
Uh-huh.
I've qualified for 70.3 Worlds twice there. I went to New Zealand and I didn't go to Nice, but I qualified for Nice. That year was just too much. That was the first year that, France had banned women who wear hijab from racing,
Yeah, so we
and
got we got
I
to dig
wasn't up
into
for the
that. We got to
fight.
dig into that, Khadijah. I really, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a really a key thing I want to talk about. But so great. I'm glad I'll see you in chat. You met my sister in Chattanooga
Yeah.
this past year, and she was
Mhm.
just floored by your transportation because she had just invested in a van like that, or I don't know, what do you guys call that? Just a
It's just camper van.
camper, yeah. But I
I
mean, the
call her
way you
Betsy.
roll, you call it what?
Betsy.
That's even better. But the way you roll, I mean, they're not just. I mean, you guys got sleeping, you got protection. I I was talking. I know we don't have to get into that, but I'm just being real about it because I asked Mark, and I remember talking to him later, and I was like, she rolls around in that thing, and I mean, it's a wonderful. My sister was just enthralled with it. She just thought it was great. I said, I hope she's got protection. He goes, she does. Okay,
Yeah.
that's my
I'm
kind of
silly,
girl.
not naive.
I think, oh, girl, I like that. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. So, So I mean, you've done a lot of try. I mean, digging into well how you do. I really want to talk about some of the challenges, some of the interesting things. You told me a story about one of your races, which really shook me up because I hate the hatred and the that is permeates our society on nonsense, right? And to see it, folks may, I think I probably put some folks off even with the name of of my channel, Black Iron Tribe, that they don't want to acknowledge that there still exists a very strong biases and what have you in society in general, right?
Mhm.
um, but that it permeates this sport as well. That there are folks who feel like like when Beyonce sang at the Country Music Awards, they're like screaming at her, "Get off the stage! This is our music." It's like, what the hell does that mean, right?
Yeah.
So to that point, you are Muslim. You practice the
Yes.
Muslim faith,
Mhm.
and in that there are certain things you follow as part of that faith, and one of them is your attire.
Yes.
And so, can we get into that a little bit? Like, so you race covered, and I didn't ask you this prior to this. I wanted you to come, let me know what that means because it it presented challenges in some of your races. So what does racing Muslim and what does racing covered mean?
So, in my everyday life, I wear hijab.
Mhm.
I cover everything except my face, hands, and feet. And
Okay.
there's, different, just like if you have the super Christian and the, I
Yeah,
show up
yeah.
on Mother's Day.
Every faith. Right,
I
right.
I consider myself kind of middle of the road. I don't wear anything special other than on holidays, but I do wear hijab. I
Hmm,
wear
hmm.
long pants and long sleeve shirts.
Okay.
Um, and when I started racing, I actually did my first race as an initiative for a sorority I belong to, Gamma Gamma Chi Sorority
Oh, okay.
Incorporated, and it is a Muslim-based sorority.
Really
And it was
interesting.
supposed to be just a one and done thing, so I didn't
Sure.
buy anything special. I had a lot of fun, and I decided that I really liked it, and I kept racing, and uh, I kept getting faster and faster. And about 2 years into it, I actually won a race, and I was completely shocked. I won my age group,
I love
and,
it. I love it.
I was so excited. 2 of my sorors were there,
Hmm.
and when I got on the podium, I,
And you were at the
I
top
was the
podium. You were on
yeah,
the number one podium because
the
normally the podium is one, two, and three, right? I
yeah,
know they recognize like the top five, but the only people who get to stand on the box is one, two, and three.
yeah,
So you were number one. Go ahead.
yeah, and so when I got the 3rd place lady, I said, "Oh, well, where's" I forgot the young lady's name. I don't wanna say
That's
her name.
fine. We don't have to bust her out right
Yeah,
now.
say her name,
Hmm.
"She's not coming." I said, "Okay," and I just went, and then it's one of my sorors came up to me and said she didn't wanna get on the, stand with you because she claimed you were cheating. At the time, there was no such thing as, full coverage triathlon
Yeah,
suit.
yeah.
I used to race in an open water swimsuit and a
Open. Okay. Oh
and a
wow.
long sleeve shirt.
So whoa. You were in something that covered your whole body and you raced the whole race in that?
Yes, and a long sleeve shirt. I swam in a long sleeve shirt.
How in the world did she think you were handicapping yourself?
And I think because, the triathlon rules at the time were it was when I started,
Mhm.
I've been racing for what, 14 years now.
Yeah,
It was from your shoulders to
right.
your wrists couldn't be covered. And,
Could
you know,
not be covered.
could not be covered, correct.
Interesting. All
So,
right.
a lot of the race directors saw me. I was just doing local races. They figured, she's not making the podium anyway, so just leave her alone. It wasn't a problem
Wow,
till
you're
I won a
killing me
race.
right now.
Then they had a problem.
So
Then
it
they had
wasn't
a
a problem
problem.
until you won, until you showed you had the skill to
Yeah.
take the podium, and then it became a problem.
Yeah. And then I messed around and qualified for nationals. I did long course and Olympic distance nationals. And then I qualified for world championships. And I was like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Uh, I actually have to have a kit. I can't just show up at world championships in a t-shirt. So, I saw all my other teammates were getting their uniforms, and so I called up the coordinator, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Yo, what are we gonna do here?" And Roca was the kit provider at the
Right.
time.
Right.
And I worked with the gentleman who was doing the kits, and we got something designed, and
Yeah.
it was the most uncomfortable thing I'd ever raced in my entire life. I chafed all to be damned. It the kit evolution kind of evolves from there. And I have to give a huge shout out to my sponsors, F2C Nutrition. They're based in Canada.
F2C.
Glenda,
Yeah. Okay. Video.
Glenda and Greg,
Hmm.
they're the owners of the company. They were there at the first time I raced world championships. That's actually when they became. I started working with them. I met them there, um, and I guess about a year and a half after I started working with F2C Nutrition,
Hmm.
Glenda basically demanded, she said, "Well, I know someone who designs kits, and you deserve a kit just like everyone else." And that was when I got my first real custom design kit.
Racing
And it
kit,
was,
something that wasn't
yes,
uncomfortable that you could actually race in.
yeah. And I was hooked. I was spoiled and I was hooked and I never looked back.
The
Yeah.
fact that there are people who supported you is extremely important, and I think helpful in trying to explain to
But you know
people.
what? I'm a true believer that everything is written good and bad for a reason.
Sure.
Everything that I've been through has given me purpose, has given me the friendships that I have,
Yep.
um, and I'm grateful.
Awesome. And
Uh,
and honestly, we're grateful for you being in this sport. You are just a great representative for triathlon in general, and then you're also representing. There doesn't have to be restrictions, and
no.
we can do this. We can do this thing. So a couple of things I kind of want to dig into. They're all the general questions, which we'll get to in a minute. But you travel amazingly, right? So I every time I've seen you, you've been in your camper, which is like a house. It's like a house. So tell me about that. That's not your permanent residence, right?
No, 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 no. There was a guy who thought I was living in my van and felt sorry for me, and I just busted out laughing.
Is he
But
bringing you
no.
free food and giving you money? Because if he wasn't doing that, you take your salary and go somewhere,
No, I it
buy
was
some groceries.
no, it was kind of a COVID project for me and my children. My youngest two were homeschooled. They actually were homeschooled even before COVID started, and
Okay, okay,
um the designing the solar system for the van was part of one of their science projects. So they did the schema, and I
yeah,
put it in there. And I love to race, but I'm also kind of just an outdoor person. I told you I love to swim, especially ocean
yep,
water swimming.
yep.
So I'll pull up somewhere, stay a couple of days, and just swim and ride my bike. It's more of a lifestyle choice and understanding how I want to live. So most people see me, I'll roll up to a race. Like I just left St. Anthony's. I
Okay,
just found a place to park, went swimming, ran the race, took a
right.
nap, cheered for people, and then hopped in. So I can travel um, at my leisure, but I also love international travel. I'm definitely a travel bum. If I didn't have kids,
Okay.
I
You'd be
probably
good.
wouldn't even need a house. Yeah.
So domestically, and I'll limit this to the 48 contig US.
Yeah.
You drive to those races, right?
Yeah,
So you
pretty
don't have to
much.
rent a hotel, which is a
Mm-mm.
killer financially,
Yeah.
as you know. Um, but you like to travel internationally. So of the 45, 46, 70.3s that you've done and the 12 full Ironmans, how many of those were out of the country, so to speak?
Oh, I don't know.
But some were. You've
A
had some,
lot were, yeah,
a
because
lot. Okay.
I've raced in France,
Oh,
Spain, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, South Africa, Cuba, um,
what? I was going to ask you about Cuba if you had
Canada.
raced. I didn't even know if they held
Yeah,
them. Okay, so you've done.
yeah,
Wow. Have you
yeah.
raced in South
I've
America?
raced about 15 different countries. Yeah,
Girl, I'm so jealous.
yeah.
Good for you. And you do you take your bike to all of those, or do you?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
right. I recently interviewed Frank Wilson, who was actually doing his interview from Mallorca, Spain. He was
Uh-huh.
there strictly for a cycling event, but he didn't take his bike, and
Mhm.
he rented a bike there. And they've got tons of high end bikes that they
Yeah.
but
Europe is a different animal,
different
when it
animal
comes.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, one of the things I
Yeah.
do, and a lot of people don't realize that they can do,
Hmm.
um, one, when you take your bike over to I guess it's the large handling area.
Sure. Yeah, you have to take right where they
Yeah,
check it,
I'm
right? Yeah.
I try to explain to them, "Hey, I race bikes, and if my bike doesn't get there safely, I don't get to race." And I said, "I'm not trying um, to tell you how to do your job, but do you mind if I watch you inspect and assist you in closing it if you have any questions?" And if you're really gracious about it, it's a good way to make sure that your bike or your case or your bag is closed
That's a great
properly.
piece of advice. I
Yeah.
I do know of some people say, well, I watched them do it, and I don't know that they necessarily approach it with that same.
Yeah, just be really gracious about it, and
Yeah,
I've never had, any. I did have a guy in Spain get a little bit testy with me, but
yeah.
then when he realized I understood everything he was saying and I responded to him in Spanish,
You
he
spoke say.
yeah.
How many
Then
languages do you speak, Khadijah?
I speak English, Spanish. I was married to a man from the Gambia,
Okay.
so, I know enough to sound really stupid in a language called Manding.
Your honesty is appreciated.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
but my mother-in-law lived with us for quite some time, so
Okay,
she
okay. So
really
you
she
had
really
to, yeah,
helped.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she really
So,
helped,
so
and
the fact, and I tell people that when you travel internationally, just try to speak their language. They will treat you so much differently than if you act
yeah.
like a conceited American, which
Yeah,
which a lot of us do,
we
right?
have a bad rep.
We have a bad rep, and all you got to do is try. You don't have to be good at it. Just try to speak their
Yeah.
language. What brought you? I mean, you've been in triathlon now, like you said, for 14 years. What brought you to triathlon? Who did someone introduce you to it? Was it something you just
No, it was just like I said, it was an initiative for the sorority that I
right,
belong to.
right?
I wanted to do something a little bit different because it was a health initiative. So I was like, I'll try this. I know how to swim, and it was funny. I thought it would be easy because I ran track in college. I was already a swimmer. I figured, just get a bike and
Just
it'll be
all I
fine.
need is a bike.
Yeah, and it was
75% of the race.
yeah, it was a sprint. It was a Iron Girl triathlon at Lake Lanier, Georgia,
Okay,
and it
okay.
was the hardest thing I ever done, and
A
it's
sprint,
funny.
a
Yeah,
sprint. This is somebody with 12 full Ironman under their bike.
and I have a video. You can, hear my father-in-law at the time saying, "Oh god, this is gonna be a long night," because he knew I was cooked. I was totally cooked.
Does your just going back to your faith, does it impact or influence how you race at all, other than your attire? Like,
Um, I wouldn't say it changes my strategy at all. As you can see, my finish record is almost 100%.
right?
My
Yeah,
my goal
absolutely.
is to always race strong, to always finish, to always show proficiency and professionalism in how I do things. I think people have this preconceived idea of what a Muslim woman is.
Yeah,
One of the things you see on my Instagram page and my website is my goal is to promote a positive image, a
yeah.
positive, strong image of Muslim women, and that's what I hope that I do. I don't win a lot. I'm usually in the top percentage,
Hmm.
top 10 or 20%. Um, but my goal is to always race strong, to always finish, to always show the most sportsmanlike conduct, even when I have to demand my rights as a human being.
Yeah.
I make sure that I do it with professionalism and making sure that I recognize that there's some young Muslim girl watching me
Hmm.
who's
Mm.
gonna may potentially follow my lead.
Giving you up,
That's
no, no, I ain't giving you up. Get up and try to giving you up, no, no, I ain't giving you up, no more.